Hey everybody, it's Captain CA from Flats Class YouTube. Today, I'm going to give you a little tip on how to get more action out of your bucktail jigs. So when I talk to folks about throwing bucktail jigs to catch fish, they're a little apprehensive to believe all the good juju that comes from fishing with bucktail jigs. They're like, they don't have enough action, they're too small, they don't look lifelike enough. And I go, guys, I'm telling you, you can make these bucktails be anything, a minnow, a shrimp, a crab. But one of the ways to really add some action and bulk to a bucktail jig is to put a trailer on it. And it's simple. There's many of them that are out there on the market, and the one I'm going to show you today does a really good job because it's made from Elastec. So come down to the workbench here and let's show you what we have. Okay. I'm not really using an actual bucktail jig. I'm using the BTB Flats jig. It is a silicone skirt on a lead head and behaves just like a bucktail jig, except for this one. You'll notice that there's glitter, a scaliness to the silicone skirt, and the skirt breeze. It's a really cool jig that you can get through Z-Man. Now, to add bulk and to add a swimming motion to this bait and make it look even more alive, I'm adding a split tail grub, and I've picked red for this one. It's a 4-inch split tail grub. What I do, I'll take one out of the package for you, in fact. What I like to do, it's a rather large type of trailer, but it's got some meat in it so that you can get the hook over the collar here in the very head, and it's got a nice long tail. And all the Elastec Z-Man material is very lifelike and resilient to nuisance bait fish and stuff striking it. So I place this right here in the jig. You can see how I've got it over the top of the collar, and it gives it this nice action. Now, red at depth really looks darker than bright red. Now, I fish a lot of flats, so this is going to probably look lifelike, but if I were to fish 8 to 12 feet of water with this same jig, this is going to look a lot darker and not as bright. I want to give this bait here a very shrimpy or crabby look, so I've chosen the red. Now, if you find yourself getting short struck, where they're pulling on the tentacles here a little bit, what I like to do is shorten them up in many cases. It's got a little bit of memory here. So I'm going to put them together. I'm going to take my knife, and I'm just going to get that other one right even with it. Cut about that much off is about perfect. And then I've got 2 lively tentacles swimming behind this jig that will give it bulk, give it a swimming action, and make my bucktail jig look much, much alive. And you can do this with a hair jig as well. Don't feel like you can only do it with the BTB jig from Z-Man. If you had a nice bucktail jig here, like anyone hookup lures or any of the commercially built bucktail jigs, this trailer will work perfectly with it. It's a nice add-on to a bait like this where you can put a second color in. It allows you to put a little scent on it that stays on it a little bit better, and it gives it a swimming motion. So if you're wanting your bucktails to be enhanced and look a little bit more alive, this is a great way to do it. So hopefully this little tip on the bucktail and enhancing it with the trailer will put a few more fish in your boat this spring. Now, I need you guys to follow Flats Class, not only on the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but also on Flats Class YouTube. Subscribe. The more feedback we get, the more videos we can pump out. Captain CA, checking out.